Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer Diamond, and I live a whole food, plant-exclusive, SOS-free, gluten-free lifestyle for health and well-being. And today, I wanted to bring you along with me while I show you what I eat in a day while trying to heal on Dr. Brooke Goldner's protocol, starting with water. So, I thought I'd bring you along this morning. I just woke up and quickly got in my workout stuff. I haven't even put my weighted vest on, but the first thing I do is drink my water. And so you just saw me finish the beginning of the water. So before we go any further, I want to fill this up with water. What I do every morning is prepare myself so that I'm successful throughout the day. And I measure my water. This particular container that I have holds 64 ounces up to here. And I'm going to be drinking anywhere from 111 ounces a day to, I sometimes go over a little bit. And so let's grab that. I'll be right back. Okay, I just got this with you from our Berkey. And so I will drink 2 of these in a day. So the first thing I do in the morning is I measure this much water. I grab my glasses, and just know that we together already drank one of these, and I'm going to show you how much each one of these holds. And so I fill it to the top, and it's about, let me just put this glass, it's about, let's see, those glasses are about, the water's jiggling. 34 ounces left. So yeah, it's about 32 ounces, let's say, in each one. So I already drank 32 ounces. So we keep that in mind. And the rest of this water, let me fill the other one. We're gonna also include this in the smoothie that we're about to make. So it's not like I have to add more water plus the water that I've already measured, but I am going to be using these to drink and make my smoothie. And then when these are finished, I will fill up to 2 more. But don't forget, I already had one, so technically I need an additional 1 more. Now we do have a little bit of water still in here, and that's okay. And the first thing I want you to see is that I'm gonna weigh it. I've got this little kitchen scale. I use this every morning. You could do this the night before, like before or after dinner, if you're gonna be leaving quickly in the morning and you don't have time for this. But for me, it helps so that I'm prepared throughout the day. So I put the container on there, and I zero it out so it doesn't weigh the container as well, and I'm going to start it on pounds. And the first thing I'm going to do is fill it with cruciferous vegetables. So sometimes I buy these bags from Trader Joe's. It's a local grocery store just for convenience. And more often I don't buy these. More often I buy just the, bunches. More often I buy the bunches at the grocery store, wash them and clean them. But I decided to do it this way. These are triple washed. This particular one is called a curly kale, and this one is called the dino kale, or they call it Tuscan. But so, in other words, I have 2 different kinds of kale in here. And I'm weighing a pound. I want a pound of cruciferous vegetables. And right now, we are at just under a half a pound. And so I want to maybe not use all of that this time. Just under a half a pound. And then I also have this from Costco, which is the Power Greens. And it's a mixture of charred baby spinach and baby kale. And it doesn't really matter what kind of greens you use as long as you can get cruciferous. And these are cruciferous. There are others that are considered cruciferous. Okay, so that is more than... yep, okay, so here we go. I am continuing to add this. We're at over a half a pound. Yeah, look at this. We're at, okay, now we're at 0.734. And what I'm going to add to that, I keep these containers. These containers are so fun, so fantastic. They rock my world. I love them. I've got this one, and I've also got the herb container. I'll link them below if you're interested in them, just to see what they are, but they really help keep things fresh. And so in here I have a little bit left of some cauliflower. So let's start adding that in, because cauliflower is a cruciferous, and it's a little bit heavier, so I can add it. And I also have some, you know what these are? Asparagus. You can add asparagus too. And then I have this lonely cucumber that I think I'll eat later. But so you can add any of this. I can even just do that, do this. Hey, there we go. It's actually a little over. There we go. And the rest of this I'll eat throughout the day or in my next salad. If you know, as another option, you could always add broccoli. But, you know, I am aware of the plastics that I was using, and, you know, we all do the best we can, but as long as we're aware. So there we are at a pound of cruciferous, and now I'm going to zero it out again and change it over to ounces, and I want to start to add some fruit, because I can't just drink a smoothie that's just made of cruciferous. I mean, I guess I can, but I'd like it to be a little enjoyable, and so some of the fruit that I'm going to add, and you can add any fruit you want. I prefer the frozen fruit because I like that kind of, you know, real cold smoothie. And so I'm going to add some pineapple, and I am going to measure 12 ounces. I might go a little more, but the day's worth of fruit should be 24 ounces on her protocol. And so I also am going to add some mango. I really enjoy doing the frozen dark sweet cherries. I ran out, so what a bummer for me. Okay, and so then I'm just going to continue to push this down. Add a little bit more. There we go. Now we are at the 12 ounces. And let me set this aside. Actually, I'm just going to put these in the freezer. Now, I also like to add turmeric. I'm out of fresh turmeric. I got to get some at the store. Normally, I would just cut a piece of turmeric. But since I don't have fresh, I'm going to go ahead and just use this. This is not part of her protocol, but this is something that I'm adding. And I'm going to just do 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. And I should have put it in before the fruit, so I'm going to kind of tuck it in there. The reason why is because when I blend it, I don't want the powder to go up and just be all in the lid. And whenever I use turmeric, I try to pair it with black pepper so that it will help it, you know, absorb and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to do some twists of black pepper in my smoothie. Isn't that weird? And she does not recommend that, but that's something that I'm adding. And I also want to add some ginger. And so I am going to just cut a piece of ginger right here, and fresh ginger. If you don't have fresh, you could use the, you know, the dried. The best way that you could peel the ginger, in my opinion, and you could have done it before I cut it, is just take a spoon and just kind of scrape it off, just like that. You can go all the way around, scrape, 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 and there you go. and you don't have to. I'm just gonna put the rest in there. And then she recommends salt. Now, if you know me, I don't eat salt. But the reason that she recommends salt is because when we're drinking that much water on her protocol, you can flush out all the minerals and you can cause another problem or other issues. And I actually wasn't doing the salt. This is my second week on her program. And the first week, the last day, I had a really bad headache and I had a lot of issues. I didn't do it properly in terms of I didn't eat early enough and I didn't drink enough, and I have changed things up. So I decided to add the sea salt just while I'm on her protocol. After I finish it, no more salt for me. Unless there's some reason that I all of a sudden need it, I don't really need it. But, so it isn't very much. So I'm going to measure out her amount of salt, which I forget already. She likes a teaspoon of salt a day, and I'm not going to measure out a teaspoon. I'm actually going to go half a teaspoon, but you could do the whole thing. And the reason why is because I'm going to drink some almond milk, which is on her protocol, and I think it has a little tiny bit of salt in that one. So I'm going to do half a teaspoon, and if I find that I wasn't going to drink that, I would do the whole teaspoon. Reluctantly, but that's the reason why. And like I said before, it's only temporary for me. The other thing that we have to add is omega-3s, because this is like one of the most important parts. And so she really likes the chia seed as well as the flax seed. And I'm going to go ahead and measure the flax seed. This is not pre-ground. You don't want it pre-ground. You want it fresh. And when I say fresh, you just want to grind it fresh as you need it. So these are the seeds. I'm going to measure a half a cup. That's what she recommends if you can get to it, a minimum. I'm just going to show you what that looks like. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in after this starts spinning. And then I'm just going to let the blender mix it up and grind it up. Now, if you eat the whole seed like that, what's going to happen is you're not going to get any of the omega benefits, because nothing's going to happen. It's just going to go right through you, and you can actually see it whole on the other end. So you want to make sure that it's ground up. And so I also, she also recommends that you have iodine. And iodine is really, really important, more important than I ever thought. I am going to get my iodine through Dulce. She recommends combining the iodine and getting iodized salt. So she gets iodized salt. It's labeled that way, and she uses a scoop of that, so she gets her salt and her iodine in one. I'm not going to start buying salts. This is just something that we had for other people, including my husband or anyone else sometimes that uses salt. I normally don't. So I'm going to go ahead and measure. Now, she recommends a let's see, what does she recommend? 150 micrograms, if your thyroid is healthy, per day of Dulce, of iodine, not Dulce, of iodine. If you have a thyroid problem, she recommends 300 micrograms. And based on what the back of the bag says, for servings and everything else, it has listed here the iodine at 994 micrograms, which it says 663% in a third of a cup. Yow! My husband figured out how much I need. How much is the 300 microgram? And he said half a teaspoon. So I'm measuring out half a teaspoon of the Dulce. I have plenty of Dulce. And I'm going to put that in my smoothie. There we go. See that? And I'm going to just put it right in there. And last but not least, I'm going to add some lemon juice, because for me it helps with the absorption of iron. If you missed that, check it out. I've got a link where I'm talking about iron. And so I'm just going to pour a little bit. If you don't have lemon juice like this, take a fresh lemon and just put in half. You can even peel the skin and just throw the whole half in there. If you don't like citrus, well, then just put in less. Some people don't like it as much. I'm just going to put in 2 teaspoons. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to put this up here. Isn't this beautiful? Move this out of the way. Plug it in. Don't forget, we still have our flaxseed. Oh my gosh, I got to move this up a little bit. Don't want to knock over the flaxseed. Okay, and then I'm going to put the lid on. We're going to get going here. Oh, no, we're not. Just making sure you're paying attention. No, we have to add some more water. So I'm going to use the water that we measured for me for the day and start pouring it in. I'm watching it around here. I'm going to do about half. Look at that. See? And if I find that I need a little bit more, well, I'll pour a little bit more. Maybe I'll just do it now. That's good. So you can see how much water I already used up. And so when you think about how much water you have to drink in a day, it doesn't have to be difficult. Now, I am protecting my ears, so I'm putting my earwear on. I could still hear everything, and so we'll be able to do our dance. And let's get things started. Done. We are just ground up well enough that we can remove this and add the beautiful flax seeds. So you could lift the lid. I'm just gonna, yeah, look at that. That's a lot of flaxseed. All right, I'm gonna put this lid on and let's go again. Okay, I'm gonna grab one more glass and show you how I set this up. Look at that. Whoa, 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 the lid fell off. You can see, look at that. Now this is gonna be a very green tasting smoothie. And so you would have to decide, is that too green for you? For me, it's gonna be fine. For you, you might wanna sweeten it up more. And so because I'm doing 24 ounces in a day, I try to do 12 here, 6 at lunch, and 6 in the evening. You don't have to do it that way, but if you get all of her protocol in and you want a little more fruit, well, then, you know, do what works for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the bottles that I use to be successful with my smoothie. Okay, so I have this one, and yes, I use these throughout the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour this. Nice. I'm gonna pour some in here. Very good. And then whatever is left, I pour in the smallest one. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. The color came out beautiful. It's a little brighter than normal, and I think that's from the pineapple because a lot of times it's a really dark green. But it doesn't matter. It'll change a little bit based on the fruit you use, and it's all good. I love this spatula. This spatula is my favorite, and you know me, I love spatulas. But I love it because it's really good for getting under blades, and it's really good for scraping out all those last little goodies. I like to get as much of everything out as I can and not waste. I have this container here that I use when I'm traveling. So let's say even if I'm just gonna run an errand in the middle of the day, I put my straw in here and I go. So this is ready to go. I can take it when I go for a walk, which we'll do here in a little bit. And I can also just have it in the house, but I like the flexibility of that. And then this big gigantic one is the one that I start the day with, and then this one is the second one, and then the smaller one is the one that I do at the end of the day. So I have all of these. Don't forget, we have all of this water, plus half a day later, in the middle of the day, we will be adding at least one more 32 ounces. And that's what I set up with. Now, I also decided that I wanted to try a recipe that Dr. Goldner has in her new book that I just got, and it's called Goodbye Lupus, Hello Delicious. And here she is on the cover, and it's on page 11, and it's a chocolate chia smoothie. Yum. So we're going to quickly make that together, and then I'm going to be ready for the day. So let me go ahead and just for now move all these beautiful drinks aside. All the water, all the everything. And then I'm going to get the NutriBullet. I'm using a NutriBullet because it's a smaller amount and it works better than in my Vitamix. Plus, it's already dirty. And so I'm going to cut the recipe in half for what she recommends. And so I'm going to go ahead and do one banana. These are frozen bananas. And it's she usually does like 2 cups, but for me, I want to take the scale and I want to zero it out because I'm going to add this to my fruit weight for the day. And so it's 3.66 ounces. So I'm going to call it 3.5. You could do a little bit more than that and add that to the 12. So 16.5 ounces that I've already going to be consuming in all of this. Okay, let me rinse my hands. Okay, then she asks for chia seeds. We use the flax seed, now we're going to use the chia seed. I'm going to use the white chia seeds, but I do have the dark ones. Actually, I like to use the white ones when we do lighter drinks. I think actually I'm changing my mind. I'm going to do the dark ones, but it doesn't really matter. You're not going to see it anyways because there's going to be cacao powder in here, and that's going to make it all dark and delicious. So let me see. In her recipe, she wants a half a cup of chia seeds. Now, don't forget, I'm cutting the recipe in half, and I already used a half a cup. So I am going to fib this, and I've got a 1/4 scoop cup that I'm using, and I'm filling it halfway. So that's plenty for me. And so there you go. She's using almond milk. And the one thing, so I don't normally use almond milk. I always use soy milk. But for her protocol, for these 6 weeks, and this is week 2, I am going to try it her way. And the one that I could find, the best choice of the choices I could find that didn't have any oil and a lot of nonsense in it, was this one. And it does have a tiny bit of salt, which we mentioned before. It says 1 cup serving size is a total of 3 grams of fat. And her protocol is 3 grams per serving or less of fat. And you know what? The ones that are the cleanest, the ones that don't have anything in it, oh my gosh, they really are high in fat. So that was something that I learned when I was at the store with my husband shopping for this. And so we're going to do half a cup of this because, again, I'm cutting the recipe in half. There we go. She says you can drink up to 1 cup of almond milk per day. The next thing is cacao powder. Oh, yeah. It's great to be on whole food plant-based eating, and so you can get so many wonderful, delicious flavors. So this says 1/3 cup. I'm going to cut that in half, and I'm going to get my 1/3 cupper, and I'm going to just do half of this scoop. It's going to be very unofficial. And there I go. Yummy. She has so many wonderful recipes I can't wait to try in her cookbook. I will link it in the description in case you're interested in getting it and trying it. And she uses flax oil. I just want to touch on that really quick for a minute. Flax oil is instead of flax seed. We talked about flax seed. I put flax seed in this smoothie. I don't want an oil personally, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to buy that because I could do it this way and grind it up myself. But some people either have a hard time getting all of the flax in for the day, or they don't, for whatever reason, they want to use a smaller amount. because I think it's more concentrated is what I understand. I'm not adding that in here since we have the chia and I have all the flax here. I keep pointing this way because that's where I usually mix, but this is what I mean. And so I think there's only one more thing. So we've got the almond milk, the banana, the cacao. Oh, there's two more things. We're going to add some water and what is in this baggie? Frozen avocado. And so I froze this and just took it out of the freezer before we started. And she calls for a half. I'm just using a quarter piece of avocado right in there and some water. Where am I going to get my water? Yeah, for my daily water intake. And so she calls for, well, let's see, I'll do half. It'll be like 1.5 cups. So that's what I'm going to do. And I could even do a little less if you want it thicker, but let's try it with a half a cup. Let's just try it with a half a cup of water. I'm not going to do it exactly. And I can always add more because I like it thick and creamy. And I don't, last time I made it, it wasn't thick and creamy, but it was certainly delicious. And so there we go with that. I'm going to put this last piece of avocado back in the freezer. And all I did to prepare the avocado is I cut it open and gosh darn it, I should have shown that. But anyhow, I peeled the skin off. Don't freeze it with the skin on. I tried that one time and I couldn't get the darn skin off. So, and then I just cut it into sections so I can kind of know how much each section is. You could do a half, you could do a quarter, or you can cut it up into cubes and then label the bags, whatever works for you. Okay, so here we go. Let's plug this in and get this party started. Now, I haven't been wearing my ear-wear for this. Should I? I guess so. It's loud. All right. You know, I got some exercise in there. It is morning for me. I'm going to be getting ready to do my exercise. And so jumping jacks, if you're not into dancing, will always work. Oh, look at this. Look, 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 look. Ready? Yeah. Whoa, look at that. The band fell in there. Holy smokes. Huh. That's a first. Time to probably get some new bands. I've got another glass. Yes, yes. I usually have one glass. I use it throughout the day, but this is a little bit more than normal. And so I'm just going to start to put this dark, beautiful deliciousness in a glass. And then see, it is thicker. I like it thicker. It's thicker. If you don't like it thicker, go ahead and add the full amount of water. Look at that. Now, if I had put the full amount of water, there would have been more, right? Because there'd be more liquid in it. But that's okay. You know, I had an idea. I haven't tried it yet. But don't you think this would be great made into popsicles? Oh my gosh. And then you could just have a popsicle throughout the day. And there you go. Very, very good. And so this is all going to be in the refrigerator, and as the day goes on, I'm going to have a little bit at a time. And so if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified when I go live or post new videos. And please give this a thumbs up. It really helps me to spread the word. And if you are subscribed, thank you so very much. I truly appreciate it. And so I'm going to go get my weighted vest on and get exercising, and we'll be back to you know, check in and see how I'm doing and make food throughout the day and chomp, chomp, chomp. Okay? Take care for now. Okay, so I just wanted to show you. So far, I have this much water left. And of the first 62 ounces, I drank all of this. And we have the green smoothie that I had, which was in here and in here. And this one, let me see. So I have one left. Let me show it to you. I just want you to see what I still have left. So I still have one left. Okay. And then that beautiful chocolatey banana drink, I drank that as well. So I have all the glasses here and I can show you. And what I have in front of me is some leftover salad from yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and I'm going to hopefully be able to finish this up. And then what I'd like to do is come back and have you help me make my real salad for the day. And so I am just going to eat this the way it is. No need to waste, and we're going to make something just like this as soon as I'm done. Yummy, yummy. I find that food tastes so much better when I'm hungry. I did a great workout today, and I took Remy for a walk, and all is good. I'll just keep chewing and I'll be right back. You caught me. Okay, I'm finishing up. Last bite. And we are ready to build a beautiful new salad. And this is cauliflower, a cruciferous. But what I have in front of me is some beautiful basil. I've got some bok choy. Oh my gosh. I have some romaine, which I have to wash. I'm going to wash this. This has not been cleaned yet. We've got garlic. I've got ginger, some fresh lemon. I'm going to use some apple cider vinegar and black pepper. Probably get some other stuff. I've got an orange bell pepper. I have a red one in there, but I've also got some purple cabbage, a little bit of apple we're going to weigh, and I've got carrot and celery, and, tomatoes. We've got tomatoes, and I have a little bit of mint in here. I hope it's still good. And then I'm going to go into this, which is the Power Greens. Yay for Power Greens. And the Power Greens have, I'll just read it to you. They have baby chard, baby spinach, and baby kale. What are those? Yes, cruciferous. Also, I've got some broccoli, some more broccoli, and I think I have one more thing I forgot. What is in this? Can you please tell me what's in or behind door number 1? Ooh, let me show you. Some more cauliflower, some cucumbers, some asparagus, and so we're going to add all of this into our beautiful salad. I apologize for chewing. I was just so excited to get in here and do this with you that I started before I finished chewing. And this is just a tiny little piece of pomegranate that wasn't really a fantastic pomegranate, but we can use it as well. So let me go ahead and wash up the vegetables, and we'll get ready to chop together, all right? And that should take care of washing and drying some of the lettuce. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, and the end of the water. Okay, so we're going to refill the water too, but not just yet. So we've got bok choy in here and the romaine that I cleaned. and the orange pepper, all of this. So let's get chopping. Let me move this. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the celery. Right into my big dish. My big bowl. This used to be a serving bowl for the whole family. Now it's a serving bowl just for me. No kidding. It's really true. So the asparagus, I cut off the ends. You could peel them and use them still. I have done that, but well, lately with the raw, I've just been cutting them off and putting them in my veggie scraps. If you have a compost, you could certainly do that. And then I cut it until, you know, the end pieces here. And I don't cut those up too small because they tend to like just fall into tiny little pieces. So we've got some asparagus that goes right in. And we are going to next take out our bok choy and just give that a nice chop. Bok choy this is actually baby bok choy. There's the bigger bok choy that I'm familiar with, and it's not as tender. It's much bigger. It's usually a little tiny bit less expensive. But for me, I'm just gonna eat it. You know, the baby one, that's what I have. I buy them both. You could do whatever you want. I'm looking at these pieces. I think I'm gonna put those little ends in the veggie broth collection, which I keep in a Ziploc baggie in the freezer, and I make my own broth, and I think I have that, so I can link that below if you haven't seen me do that, and it's so wonderful. You know, we already bought the vegetables, and using the scraps to make something else is amazing, especially with broths being expensive. Then, and then you can make sure you don't have any salt or oil or anything in there except like the seasonings that you want to put in here. So there we go. I have that all done. And now I'm going to grab some of this beautiful romaine. I love romaine. Now, romaine is a bonus. You know, it's not a cruciferous. Dr. Goldner, on her rapid recovery, you know, she says, yeah, you can eat salad, you can eat lettuce, but the gold, right, or like the goodies, the part that's going to really help is in the cruciferous, in the dark leafy greens. And that is because those are filled with high nutrient dense minerals and so forth to help healing. This doesn't have a whole lot, but it is nice to blend in, and I enjoy the crunch. So that is going in. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some of this in. We talked about what this is already, and this is pre-washed. Sometimes I wash it again. What I really like to do is wash it and then put it on a towel behind me, which I don't have right there, like a clean kitchen towel, and then let it dry. Now, sometimes I just don't have time, like right now, and I didn't do it ahead of time. So I'm just going to go ahead and trust that it was washed. Oh, gosh. Okay, so we've got this. Look at that. Wow, this bowl's getting full. And quickly. And you know, it doesn't really take that long to do this. And it's even shorter, right? If you have been able to wash everything and put it away. I really like to do that when I do a major shop, and I like to wash everything and have it put away. And then this way I have more time when it's time to put something together like this, more time, and I don't have as much prep. So I am cutting that little piece off. I actually bit into that when I was really hungry and put it away for myself for later. But so these are cucumbers, And I love cucumbers. They're filled with water and they're crunchy and they're refreshing. So I'm just going to cut these up. You can cut these into more of like a stick, you know, and make a veggie platter instead of chopping it up into a salad. And frankly, you don't have to do the smoothies. It's just the amount that we have to eat on her protocol is so much that it makes it easier to get it all in. Now, I think I'm going to shred that. I love a good shredded carrot. And so I'm just going to take this box shredder, and I'm just going to quickly do this. It's good for me in terms of allowing myself to get an extra arm workout in, right? Who doesn't like that? I do. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified when I go live or post new videos. And give this a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate your support and helping in spreading the word so that others who might be interested can find me and my content. Also, if you have already subscribed, just know that I so appreciate it, and I want to thank you again and again. I do appreciate you. Thank you. Also, if you want to post a comment, let's chat. You can post a question, share something, teach me something, ask a question, whatever, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So there we go. I got the carrot, and I'm just going to clean this out. If you're wondering what I'm wearing, I am wearing my weighted vest, and I have the weighted wrist weights on as well, and that's been fun and fine. And so I have videos on those as well if you are unfamiliar and interested and curious. I am trying to heal my osteoporosis, right? You and I know I'm trying to heal my thyroid, but I'm also trying to heal so many other things. But I've also come a long way, and I have successfully healed a lot of other areas, and you can too, really. I believe that there's so much we can do through the right food. So here we go. I'm throwing in some cauliflower, which I also had added to my smoothie. We've got the carrots in there. What's left? How about some purple cabbage? That's always going to be yummy. And, you know, I try to put in a little bit of everything I have. I wish I had some radish or some green scallion. I'm out of that stuff. Oh, but I do have some regular onion. Let me grab one. Good idea. Okay, nothing wrong with a little onion. So delicious. So I'm going to just slice this. I feel like when I slice a cabbage versus shredding it into little pieces, it lasts longer. The color stays longer, and I just have better luck with it. When I shred it with the box grater or even in the food processor, it tends to not hold its crunch and its vibrant color. And I don't know why that is. So I usually just try to do it like this. And I should have made sure that you could see everything. There we go. Adding the cabbage. Look at this. And there you go. I mean, the whole thing about having a salad, whether you're on the protocol or not, for me, is to make it as colorful as possible. And how you do that is just go through the store and look at everything and just enjoy shopping for color and see, what am I missing? What do I have? And go from there. Here is the orange pepper. I tend to like to slice it down the middle and then take this green part and just push it into the pepper. And it just takes everything out, and then I don't lose any of the pepper. I used to just cut the top off, and I used to lose all of this. I was wasting it. So now I do it this way. How do you cut your bell pepper? Do you eat bell pepper? What colors do you like? I usually tend to buy the red ones, and I do have a red one in the cabinet, but I was just feeling like, maybe I'll get an orange one this time. And so that's why you see me with an orange one, just mixing it up. And these different colors of these kind of bell peppers, they're not spicy peppers at all. They're usually based on color, based on where they are in their ripening state. So green is the least ripe, and then yellow, and then orange, and then red is the ripest. And I believe that they have a little bit different flavors, as well as different nutrients, I think, are released. Now, I'm not guaranteed for sure, but I think that's what I had learned at one point. So I'm going to go ahead now and grab just a couple tomatoes. Now, these little cherry tomatoes, I can add more in the bowl. I'm not going to cut them right now, but when I'm eating them, I like to cut them into either half or even quarters. And the reason why I don't like to cut them ahead of time is because if I don't finish this whole thing, it might get soggy and, or make the other food like the lettuce soggy. So I'm going to give these three just a quick rinse. And I'm just going to place them just right on here. It's not very many, but I plan to do some other things with the tomatoes. And then what do we have left? Oh, the last minute idea of the onion. So this onion is not the, not the normal onion that I would buy. I really like in the salad the raw onion. I really, really enjoy the purple onion. But I will take whatever onion I can get. And I had bought a bag of these because I was planning on doing a different recipe, but I haven't done it yet. So, so there we go. And I'm just going to slice it up a little bit. I'm just going to use the whole thing. And then I'm going to put that in my scraps. And I saw that right here there was a piece that just didn't look so great. So I'm going to take that out. If there's anything that just doesn't look super great, just remove it. And there you go. Now this looks fantastic. And I can already feel it. Like, when the onion starts chatting with you and it makes your eyes watery. Oh my goodness. Sometimes my nose even starts running and it gets crazy. Wow. Now, instead of putting this all in the salad right now, there go my eyes. I am going to put it aside. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you can see my eyes, but they are chatting. They are really, really like tearing up. Now, the skins of the onion, the skins and the paper and the peel and everything of the garlic, I am going to go ahead and put in my broth. Some people don't like to use that because they say that it offers a bitter taste or a bitter flavor, and I don't really find that, so I put it in the broth. All right, so now we have just some garlic to chop up. Okay, so what I have left is an apple. I have some ginger. Let me move this garlic aside for right now. We've got some lemon, and we still have this we can do something with. I'm going to start to put my scraps here in this bowl and take out that small piece of pomegranate and put that aside. And we've got the lettuce that we're done with. We've got the tomatoes we're not done with. I'm going to take some of this broccoli out, maybe a few more florets. That's always great. And there we go. We are getting close here. Now, you don't have to chop up your broccoli. Some people like it just to pick it up and dip it in guacamole or whatever, but I have not always been a fan of raw broccoli. It's my favorite vegetable when it's steamed just perfectly, but raw, it hasn't been. And so I'd say over the past year, I have really come a long way, and now I enjoy raw broccoli. And so but I don't, I do like to cut it up into smaller bites. So I am going to cut up, say, this little snub here, and you could take the skin off, which I guess I will. Sometimes I get a little lazy and I don't want to, but it's simple enough, right? You just take a spoon and scratch the skin off and it just peels right off. And then you have this beautiful, fresh ginger, and you can take the skins and add them to the broth. You certainly can. Yep. I also want to add some fresh basil. So I'm going to take some of that off of this little branch that I have. Yes, you could use these stems, and I do use them often, but today these are a little bit thicker for me, so I'm going to put it in the broth pile and just chop this up. Fresh basil, fresh herbs. Can't go wrong with fresh herbs. Oops. Okay. All right. And let's see, what is left here? I guess the ginger. So the ginger, you can slice into small slices. That's what I like to do. If ginger is something that feels or tastes too strong for you, go ahead and use a microplane, and that should help really chop it up and mince it in such tiny little bites that you might do better with it if it's something that you think is too strong. When I first started eating fresh ginger, I was like, oh my gosh. One of those, pieces that I showed you would have taken me a year to eat it. And now I eat chunks of it all, every day mostly in my smoothie or salad, and I go through it pretty quickly. And so there we go. Lastly, I'm going to just cut off the brown part. What am I going to do with the apple? Yeah, you could put it in the scraps. You don't have to, but why not? Just gives it a little bit of a sweetness. And this is a green apple, so they're more tart. I like to get the different colors. And we'll see if I eat the whole thing or not. I'm just going to put it right in the salad. I do like to give it a little squeeze of lemon, which I should have done before I put it in here, just because it keeps the color, from browning as much. And it tastes good that way, because I love citrus. I love it. Okay, so I think for the most part, we are ready here. I did say that I was going to take this apart, and let me just see. There's an easier way to do this, but I'm just going to kind of peel some of this off. Oh, how cute. It's like 0.52. So that's fine. All right, so here for the most part is our salad, the salad that I'm going to eat. And what I like to add with it is a whole avocado, and I smash it up in a bowl, and I can eat it that way. I also enjoy adding some dry herbs. This just happens to be a no-salt seasoning that I could just put on top. I like to do turmeric. I don't have any fresh turmeric right now, but let's go ahead and do some dried. We could just a little pinch, right? And just to do that, I like to use a little bit of black pepper. I like to use some lemon. I'm going to do the lemon juice. And you can add more if you want. Now, we talked about the avocado just because that's what I normally do. But I am going to try to have some, whoops, there's a seed. There are easier ways to do this, but I'm trying to do less dishes. And so I'm willing to take the risk of having to pick out a seed. But my lemon squeezer probably would have been a better idea. But this is a good idea too. And you don't have to have utensil, you know, all those different tools. They're easier at times, but not necessary. And then usually what I do with this, drop it in my water and let my water become lemony, except I'm out of water. We have to do that as well. So let me put that aside. Okay, so I have this gigantic salad, and yes, this is my salad for the day. Will I finish it all? Most likely. The little bit you saw me eating earlier was like a leftover from yesterday's salad that was this big. And so what I want to do is show you some guacamole that I already made. There we go. Look at that. Plop in. I want to do the whole thing, but my husband loves it so much, I think I'm going to leave him some. And I, of course, have more so I can make more. But we love it. Maybe he'll have a little salad. But see, look at this. And then I just mix it up, and it's got the lemon, and it's got the apple cider vinegar, and it's just lovely. And another thing you could do is you could just take pieces of, you know, fresh whole vegetables, the bell peppers or whatever, and go ahead and dip it right into the guacamole. So that is what I'm about to have for lunch. And before we allow me to start chewing on that, I just want you to see that I'm going to grab some more water. Let me grab my measuring. I'm going to add some more water. I'll be right back. Anyway, here are the 2 more glasses of water that I have for the rest of the day. And I've already had some this morning, so you know, if I don't finish all of it, I think this is more than what I actually need, but I want to measure it in case. So, all right, I'll be back, and I'll show you what I've finished eating for lunch after I finish chewing. It's been a busy day, and it's continuing to go. So I was so busy I didn't get to eat all of this, and it probably looks like there's a lot still in here, but I actually did eat a lot of it. And I was able to drink that other smoothie. It's gone, so I got all of those down, and I still have some water here. We're going to be going to a potluck. I am not going to eat. I'm going for the socialization, so I'm going to bring my water. And I have this extra. Let's see. I'm going to continue to pour these so that I can take them with me. And I'm okay if I don't finish this because I actually had my full amount. That was extra. And I'm going to also move this as much as I can into, whoa! I keep doing that today. I'm going to move as much of it in here as I can and continue eating when I'm at the potluck. Now, I did make a dish to bring to the potluck. It is cooked, and it is not for me. It is a spaghetti squash dish. And look at that. The whole thing fit. That's excellent. Okay, so I can bring another half of avocado if I want, but I think there's plenty here, you know, plenty avocado and stuff. And so I just wanted to show you that I am going to be prepared. And hang on one second while I grab the container that I'm going to bring this in so we can show you everything. I'm going to bring my bag. This is my purse cooler, right? And in it, it's insulated. If you haven't seen this bag, it's fantastic. This exact one isn't available anymore, but I will link something similar in case you're interested. But I'm going to go ahead and put this right in here, and it fits. Look at that. Look at that with all that space. And then I am going to put this sauce, which is going to be for the potluck, not for me, but I am going to put it in here. And I can put some ice in here. Let me grab that. And check this out. There's room for the water bottles on this side. And the only thing that I have to carry separately is the hot food. That is not for me anyways. This way I can go enjoy and still work on the protocol. and be successful. So thanks for hanging out with me for the day. I will probably tune in one more time when we get back to show you how much I actually ate of that gigantic salad, and I haven't needed to eat anything else. So until then, we'll see you. Oh my gosh, it was a great time. We're back from the potluck, and there were so many delicious looking dishes there, but you know what? I was great just having the salad, and I got full, so I didn't finish it. Normally, I would come very close to finishing it, but I want to show you what I have left, and it's plenty for me to have tomorrow. So here we go. There you go. It still looks like a whole bowl, but I actually did eat it down. Check it out. So that is what I have left. If I had finished the whole thing and I wanted something else, then I would have been able to do that. I could have had, you know, any other raw vegetables. I did, however, have one thing at the potluck, and somebody had brought some wedges. They cut into a cantaloupe cut into wedges, and I had one small cantaloupe wedge with part of the salad. I drank all my water in one jug, and the other one I got halfway done, and I'm going to finish that. And so anyways, there you go. This is what I am eating in a day on Dr. Goldner's protocol. So I hope it's helpful for you, and I look forward to sharing with you more about what I eat in a day in the future. So for now, don't forget to eat your greens and give plants a chance, everyone. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.